And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Isaac Schaff, USA Stormwatch. We are also conveying this we're partnering with Planet Star Weather Gang and JD Rap. We will be doing our nationwide weather headline segment here. And we're going to get some radar loops going here in a second. Looks like we're going to be watching that cold front over central Illinois pretty closely. And while we do that, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get this rolling here. There we go. All right, so we're going to obviously, I'm going to get the national radar loop. I should do that.
And this will be the same cold front that's going to come down here later on Monday. We'll get that cold front.
Yeah. Preview radar.
Hopefully we get some.
Yeah, there we go.
Hopefully we'll get some heat.
Oh no, we're going
heat relief.
Barely. I have rain chances 20, 30, 40%. So we'll be out of luck. In temperature, we really won't have heat relief because it's still going to be humid. With temperatures in the lower to mid 90s. So still a little bit humid. Matter of fact, let me run through that.
All right.
Real quick on the board. Go ahead, JD.
I got about 20% on my weather today of rain, of storms today. After this cold front passes through, and then the rest of the next week's going to be highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s.
Yeah, and I will
That's
go ahead
cool.
and point out.
Okay.
Isaac?
Yeah, so we can see we got the radar loop on here. We're watching these storms over the developing over the high plains here. I believe that's part of that dry line, dry cold front forming out this way. Definitely are seeing some hot and oppressive weather out ahead of that. And then, it's forming right off the Rockies there. And I'm going to try and get this into motion there. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer to there. We'll also take a look at the Midwest here in a second.
Yeah, that is true. That dry line is going to continue to produce some storms because out ahead of it, triple digit temperatures and humidity levels off the charts. Some of the highest humidity some people have seen in a while. Back in North Texas, we got heat warnings that don't expire until 7 p.m. And then just recently, we have a heat advisory that goes until 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. CDT for North Texas for tomorrow, with the temperatures being near 100. Now, all across the nation, this says fire danger, but fire danger is actually from Texas all the way over to California, and we'll probably touch on that more in later on. So a lot of people, this is for almost half from the Southwest, from here all the way over across the Southwest and the Western areas. We have 100 plus temperatures or 105 plus temperatures. Heat indices way over 110. The max I've seen, the max heat index from yesterday was 124 degrees.
Wow.
In somewhere here in Texas. So it was quite hot. But the cold front is starting to make its way across the country. JD.
Yep. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm looking at one storm out there in North Platte area out here, and it's looking at the hail of this one. It's about 60% of severe hail, and there's one report of that one storm I'm looking at of a 1.25 inch of hail. That's half dollar size hail and chance of rainfall out here. So is that an elevated storm?
So are you talking about North Platte, Nebraska, JD?
Yeah, it just shows out here.
Radar isn't showing anything at North Platte proper. Maybe it's in the North Platte National Weather Service coverage area. We're watching that supercell where it's still developing and pretty mature there. Yeah, across parts of Sheridan County. Oh yeah, there's a polygon that popped up. Let me zoom in a little bit closer on that one. Yeah, it looks like it's severe warning. Yeah, that's polygon right there. I can't get the warning text directly off of that, but yeah, it's
Severe
definitely,
thunderstorm warning.
Tornado or severe thunder? Okay.
that is a severe
I mean,
thunderstorm warning
Yellow.
for Sheridan County, Nebraska, just south of Shadron, north of Alliance, Nebraska. I'm going to look at Echo Tops. Definitely looks like there's plenty of lightning with that. I'm going to see how tall
Let's
this
see.
storm
I'm gonna
is.
pop up analyst. Do this.
Yeah, the storm tops almost 60,000 feet. So this storm has developed
Wow.
quite
Wow.
upscale, and it's still, this
Yeah,
almost over, almost as high as 65,000 feet. The storm tops with that.
yep. I'm
But now
gonna
it's
pop up
receding a
the
little
3D
bit, so
stuff over here to see if we can look at it on a 3D level via our radar software and see if it is as high. And look, that may be the
Well,
hail spike down there through Alliance. That may be a hail spike moving along the I-65.
so
all right.
definitely feel free to share that of your screen there, Jonathan. I can't get it focused directly on you, but it is possible that I can, or no, I don't want to remove. I don't want to remove anyone from the stream.
It's
Solo
fine.
layout.
You can share the screen. I have the
There we go.
monitor.
Oh, I got you now, Jonathan. You're on full screen.
Yeah, I have the monitor right here. So I won't have
Want
to
me-
share my screen.
You want me to read the text?
Go ahead, JD. You can
Want
pop
me to
us
read
all
the
back up.
text? All right. All right, I'm going to read the text, everybody. Severe thunderstorm warning for Box Button County in central Platten, Nebraska, south central Dallas County, and Platform, Nebraska to 245. At 2:05, severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles southeast of Haight Springs, moving southeast around 5 to 10 miles. So hazardous ping pong ball size hail and 60 miles of wind gust. So this storm could produce a lot of hail. Does it have any rotation in it, Isaac, or what do you think?
So I'm going to look at velocity on here, and I'm going to pay a little bit closer attention to that one. Yeah, it looks like there is plenty of shear associated with this. It's about 30 to 40 knots, but again, this is the base of the or the lowest level that radar can detect. It's not necessarily the storm base that's associated with this. But I will caution here. I'm going to turn on inspector tool, kind of get this in a little bit. Yeah,
I won't roll out
outbound
flash
velocity
flood
is
warning because
5, inbound about 20. So I mean that's not like it's not like packed together where it's not like 70 knot gate to gate shear or 70 miles per hour rather gate to gate shear. But
That's right.
There is plenty of there looks as if
here in a minute, Isaac, you can pop me full screen
So, I mean,
if I can get this
it wouldn't surprise me
radar
to
up.
find an embedded tornado issue, but I mean it's not really looking like the dominant situation. Mostly a
Nope.
60-mile-an-hour gust threat and potential hail because the heights are recessing there, or the storm is losing its height at the top. So I mean, it was at one point 65,000 feet. Now it's a little bit less, the storm top. And
so if anybody in that thunderstorm warning might want to move indoors, let the storm pass, and get away from the windows, right, Isaac?
again, this is a generally rural area, I will also say, because
Right.
when we're focusing on
So there's really just towns in this particular area. So if there's going to be anything, it'll barely affect won't affect many people. Although the people who do live up there, just heed to what JD said. You do need to go ahead and get to your shelter, or that's what you need to do.
And folks, take this as tornadoes too, is because we already know what happened last week, Monday, when all of those we have over 80 miles of wind, we still want to take these storms as seriously. Just move away from the windows, maybe go to the basement just for a little bit and let the storm pass. And we don't want any injuries in taking this storm as the wrong way than getting hurt or having a tree blow in from the house. We don't really want that kind of trouble.
Yeah, and I'm going to shift gears into sections of the Midwest.
Really growing in this.
There is nothing severe warned in the
Uh-huh.
Midwest, but we can see there's a couple of we have a couple of storms like showers, some weak thunderstorms across the Illinois River Valley into the Fox Valley. We can see that there's a weak, I believe that's there's a little bit of lift I'm seeing on radar here, according to Davenport Doppler radar. And I'm going to put that in motion on my phone here just to get a little idea out of that. Yeah, it looks like we may be seeing additional storms develop along that area, but again, these storms will generally be isolated, and as we've been talking about across sections of central Illinois into parts of Missouri or sections of the Ozarks as well. That upper trough is kind of centered closer towards the Ozarks into the plains, and there's a higher contrast in temperature in terms of altitude down around here. So I mean, that's going to cause more stronger elevated updrafts down in this area. But also there are storms that are trying to develop around here. I mean, as they approach areas east of the Illinois Valley towards the Interstate 57 corridor in parts of Illinois, and into the Ozarks in southeast Missouri as well. That is where we have a threat for isolated or scattered gusty winds with some of these isolated reports of gusts over 58 miles per hour in some of these. That's what the Storm Prediction Center is involving. But I mean, the highest hail threat is centered over Missouri, and again, we have that line forming out in this area. Again, as we get cooler air further aloft, associated with some of these, with that line that's also going to be pushing into sections of the high plains around here. I mean, there could be some hail issues with that as well. And I'm going to also look across sections of the East Coast here. Obviously, we have plenty of moisture around here.
Sorry to interrupt you, Isaac, but we need to go back to Dawes County, Nebraska. There's a couplet developing on that storm. It's getting tighter. So I think we should go and look back at that. JD just sent it to me, and the couplet's getting a bit tighter. And I wish my radar would pop. But when it does,
looks like we are getting a healthy low-level updraft with that. I mean,
and I'll show from what I just looked at.
Yeah, we can see.
And the couplet will be moving toward Hay Springs. So
if you in Hay Springs, you might want to be. So if you in Hay Springs, you might want to be taking your tornado precaution area. We're not under no tornado warning now, but it's still showing you a tight couplet with that, and we want you still to be taking this as a tornado.
1 second. Yeah, again, still severe warned. Wouldn't be surprised to see something go tornado warned pretty soon in any of these areas, because I will say again.
And if it does, we can go ahead and our coverage.
Yeah, so I mean, the Storm Prediction Center has advised for isolated tornado threats stretching from looks like the high plains into sections of East Colorado, west, probably West Kansas as well. I'm going to see what the specific probabilities are. Actually, the highest tornado threat is a little bit further north. Again, this particular area, sections of western Nebraska, far southern South Dakota, that's generally where this highest tornado risk is. There's also a low threat for storms with damaging winds, or mostly hail with the elevated updrafts. More isolated reports of damaging winds, but a couple of tornadoes are possible from Nebraska into northern Minnesota as well. And again, the slight risk further down south is more for wind isolated or scattered reports of wind,
Yeah,
hail
yeah.
over quarter size across eastern southeast Colorado into sections of southwest Kansas as well. That is from what I am seeing. But again,
Now the thing
this
is,
is
we
a
do
healthy
have
coupler that's
concern
developing.
about this.
Um,
Yeah, it's a tighter circulation,
Hold on
and
a
if you're
second.
going toward, if it's the way it looks like it's moving, Hay Springs will soon be put on some type of warning because that's where it's hit right toward Hay Springs. And the couplet continues to get tight. There's a little bit more of a green popping up on this particular radar back
All right,
toward the
all right.
west,
I'm gonna pause a minute. We
but the main coupler
guys, I
has a
want to tell you
lot of
something
light.
else.
yes.
I'm just gonna tell you now. We have a little bit of blue on here. Where you check this. You know how you check the hail on here? Not the hail, but that button where you can check hail and debris. There's a little bit of blue there showing me a pretty decent hail core with this.
Yeah. There's. Are you looking at vertically integrated liquid? That's the dual polarization radar product
No,
where it shows
no, the CCC. I checked the CCC thing.
correlation coefficient. You know what that is used. You can actually use that to detect possible solid objects in the atmosphere.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
should
at
look at that.
the UDX radar, see what that has to say. Looks like that is showing a little bit of a stronger updraft. This radar, it's showing stuff a little bit differently on this one.
Such as debris.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a little bit of clutter on that. It doesn't really look like it's anything that like it's not necessarily
And
indicating
let
a
me tell you
trail of
something,
possible
JD.
progress or
On
anything.
these radars,
What? Okay.
now Isaac, now when we look at correlation coefficient, we get that blue. That's something to be concerned about. So at the moment, there could be one. This could be just wind damage or wind debris. This could be very large hail damage. We don't know. So let's take it with a grain of salt because let's just take it as if there was one here. Could be very large hail because the radar we're looking at here, that's full screen on the broadcast, shows a large hail spike going at least 100 miles down south. So yeah, the correlation coefficient is showing that blue area, that lighter yellow over to the blue. That's what you should be concerned about at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the darker colors. Obviously, they are called cooler colors as opposed to warmer colors on this product. So that indicates less on the CC. If the number is less, I mean, that could indicate coverage of more solid particles in the atmosphere or dense particles that it's being returned. That vertical pulse on radar. Like if it's a warmer color, like what I'm seeing with some of the areas further outside of that storm, that's mostly heavy rain. The darker colors or the cooler colors, the blues, the greens, obviously, that could indicate hail. If there's a smaller area of blue or green and areas surrounding it are rain, or mostly rain and warmer colors, tad bit more, that would be what we may consider a slight debris signature. And obviously that helps us determine whether there could be radar indicating debris or whether it could be a tornado or anything like that. But I mean, it's just one indicator. We won't know unless
somebody reports it.
Indicating something on the ground or something being lost.
But in just an update, the circulation is getting tighter and moving to the east northeast.
Okay, I'm still trying to learn this new radar website, but I'm trying to see how to change the product to the velocity signature on here. But I am definitely inferring, just looking at reflectivity, we can see what looks like a little bit of a small hook with that. I mean, embedded within there. So, I mean, that could be a low-level updraft with plenty of directional wind shear probably in
That
progress.
is, yeah, just a small hook.
Yeah.
But you still need to be in your tornado safe spot too, just to get away from the windows.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah.
And looking at the radar scope, maybe you should take a radar scope.
Yeah, I'm gonna open that application
and,
one second.
Because what I'm looking at, and circulation is tighter, and there is a hook on the storm.
Yeah, 1 second.
I'm still looking at the latest.
There we go.
Now we're starting to get some more red next to green, so that's still possible. Now it looks more. I'll send you another image here, Jonathan, so you can just see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to North Platte radar. Obviously, there's a way to get MPing reports on here. Now you can see the velocities with this a little bit better. There's a tight couplet. I want to focus, like, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer in, but it's right in here. And I'm going to get inspector tool. So yeah, it goes from 51 to 7.
I'm trying to pull up, Isaac, I'm trying to pull up my radar here, because on radar, the rotation signature is starting to turn yellow to an orange, and radar with a severe.
All right. I'm
thunderstorm.
new severe. I thought there was, but I mean, I thought they injured another one, but I hit the wrong button.
So yeah, I also want to pay attention. You guys can see where I have the blue circle. I drew it on here. So I got the 4-panel, the super res, the differential, the correlation, and the velocity. We're gonna put that into full screen there. And so we can tell that there's plenty of shear, and I want to pay attention to that little blue space right in there. Even on differential, you can see just a isolated blue area. I mean, that is critical evidence right there. Something could be going tornadic there. With this particular, it's still drawing. I'm gonna remove that, and you can tell where my cursor is. That could possibly be a tornado. The Weather Service hasn't adjusted their warning information yet, because it takes time. And you said there was a follow-up warning now with that. Yeah, it is possible that warning will go tornado warn soon.
So if anybody's in this red polygon, this severe thunderstorm warning needs to be thinking about taking cover now, because there is, like what Jonathan and Isaac are saying, there is potential rotation with this, and it's tightened up, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to pass along. They have just updated the severe thunderstorm warning. Now they're calling for 2-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts across mainly rural areas of southeastern Dawes County. Again, continuous lightning, torrential rainfall as well. So again, just another thing to be careful with. But again, there's not too many people in this area, so we're going to continue to keep a close eye on that. And I'm going to put this back into a single panel and kind of get an idea of what other radar features, or if there's any other developing storms over this area, because they're calling for more thunderstorms over this area. There's it is unlikely we'll see a watch in this area, but as storms continue to develop across the high plains into Colorado, Kansas, and also into the northern sections of the panhandles, Texas, eastern New Mexico, I'm seeing that line developing. I had that, I was talking about that a little bit earlier. And again, that's along that dry cold front. And again, that activity that's forming further aloft there. So what we're watching out for is mostly the potential
All
for
right,
more
Jonathan.
elevated supercells.
Yeah, Isaac just Jonathan just sent me a message on here and said this storm, yep, 3-inch hail as well.
There's a storm with 3-inch hail. They have just updated
Is that right,
warning.
Jonathan?
Maybe it's a local storm report. We don't know if that is the amount or the diameter of the hail that's falling right now. I'm going to see if we have an update from NWS North Platte. But again, this is mostly just, or wait a minute. This is actually not NWS North Platte. I believe this is NWS Cheyenne, because I had the wrong NWS office. I was going to say, yeah, that's NWS Cheyenne. So, yeah, I had the wrong weather service chat on here, but I will get that popped up. So, yeah, National Weather Service Cheyenne.
Yeah.
What they're saying here. So, yeah, they've upgraded the hail size with that. No local storm reports have popped up on here, but I mean, storm coverage is going to be like generally isolated, discrete.
All right, Isaac, I just got a. All right, there was a watch, but it's just a 20%. I mean, I'm kind of watching these, make sure they won't get higher. But I think when storms roll in later this afternoon.
You were talking about the unlikely watch issuance. This would be, they're calling for storms to gradually strengthen. They're talking locally strong wind gusts and perhaps some hail, and that is further to our south. And I'm going to zoom that out a little bit, kind of show you guys where we're talking about there. But yeah, I'm going to go to KAMA radar.
80.
Yeah, so it's
80%
the base of
of
that
a watch.
is down here, across northeast New Mexico. We see some isolated cells around there. That is going to develop more into a line. And I'm going to put that in motion there. We can see how elevated those storm tops are, and I'm pretty sure these storms are rapidly. Yeah, you can see how they are just rapidly firing off. Again, that is a moisture being advected a little bit further aloft. Obviously, these storms are not directly surface based, but obviously we're going to see potential for strong winds, probably some large hail as well. Yeah, perhaps some small hail. That's what they're talking about. Maybe some larger hail. Yeah, looks like locally strong surface gusts, perhaps some hail. Yeah, there's orographic forcing with that. So like forcing that's in place a little bit further aloft, and it's almost really, it's really to the point where it's compact. Yeah, there's weak deep layer shear with this. I mean, that's not going to cause storm coverage to be higher, and that is also going to kind of limit the tornado threat this far south. I will point that out.
Jonathan's gone.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we're going to continue to summarize this. Again, we're going to wrap this up here in a minute. I have to get to work here soon.
80% of
a what?
80% of a severe thunderstorm watch.
Yeah, this is across northern Minnesota, if you're right.
Yeah.
So so northern Minnesota here, they're saying large hail and isolated damaging winds possible. And again, it's throughout the course of the afternoon as that upper low continues to track into that area. So probably a couple of discrete supercells, large hail and isolated damaging winds. Again, large hail is the main concern because there's going to be some more elevated, stronger updrafts. And again, as the convection's not, it's more shallow to the point, where the cloud tops are and everything. So, I mean, some of that energy may focus a little bit. We may see some weaker downdrafts, and embedded with the embedded shear and such. Again, the tornado threat is going to be rather low and isolated. And yeah, we're going to definitely keep a close eye on that. JD, you're able to
Are we
keep a
coming
close.
live again tonight?
I'm not sure, but feel free to pass along any reports to our page as you get any new information.
Are we coming live again tonight?
Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll keep an eye on things, but this will conclude our show for today. We'll be back tomorrow between 2:30 and 3 p.m. to discuss continuing coverage with the severe threat as that extends a little bit further into. They're saying that it's going to be more of the high plains into the panhandles into the Red River Valley again. We'll have to, but again, these are more isolated storms into tomorrow.
Well,
but again, we'll keep a close eye on things, and I guess we're
we
gonna get
coming
off
back
here.
maybe tonight, you think?
Not sure. We'll discuss this soon. All right. Take care, everyone. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.